know, stealing from these assholes is its own reward.
I'll be sure to raise a glass of Rizzo's Spectrum Violet to your timely assistance.
It seems people who've never known struggle will use any means necessary to evoke the thrill of uncertainty, no matter how banal.
You'd only be letting them into Byzantium from Peril. Long enough for Canids to see.
Jolliker's outfits have been linked to a 12% increase in mild to moderate neck injuries as a result of so many heads turning. Dead canids in the service tunnels. Domesticated canids? Why, that's utterly revolting. My dear friend, I would not dream of hurting a canid. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill a companion is a profound and unforgivable breach of trust. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. I will, however, take their trophy. My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly. Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers, Marion Blakeslee, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakeslee and Jasper Lowe. Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
I appreciate your sense of irony, Captain. Let us not embarrass Mr. Mostly by suggesting he feels responsible for the events on Gorgon.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't accuse me of altruism. We are, after all, in polite company. Think what you will of my intentions, my calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakeslee and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations. As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakeslee are the only 2 surviving researchers with high-level clearance. If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way. I know it feels like you're being led on, What is that colorful metaphor commoners use? A wild sprat chase? Remember, this is Spacer's Choice we're talking about. Their security protocols are just as inefficient and frustrating as their manufacturing. I'll tell you what I can. Dr. Marion Blakeslee supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakeslee tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker. Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakeslee tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself. I'm asking you to trust in the predictive power of data. Dr. Blakeslee may have disappeared after that sabotage incident, but the trajectory of her life was implied in her permanent record. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Anti-Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus.
No, Captain. Lab coats, as in scientists.
Is your captain always this dense? How are you all still alive?
I live for risk.
Let's get back on topic. You'll find Dr. Lowe in an orbital lab around Olympus. Certainly. What's on your mind? I'll tell you what I can. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling... After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Anti-Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. Our office gave Dr. Lowe and his team every opportunity to develop a drug under perfectly reasonable guidelines and generous deadlines. Dr. Lowe failed to meet our requests and largely succeeded in using our supply of drugs to get himself higher than the mortality rate of a line worker at a Saltuna cannery. Try to exercise caution. It's good for your lifespan. You did fetch a trophy for my little Laplace. Technically, that makes you my canid servant, and by the transitive property of employment, my responsibility. No need to sound so astonished. Now, was there anything else?
Thank you for participating in our confidentiality agreement. What can I do for you?
What was that?
Make him regret it! Didn't even get our hands dirty.
Saw something.
Their mistake.
Careful, you're wounded!
Something.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Ah, yes. As Dr. Wells is a wanted outlaw, he built his laboratory into an asteroid. Orbital destinations can be challenging to land on. His more so than most. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting him. Even knowing the location, my systems resist my orders to go where I instruct them. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. Shall I engage the laser weapon system? I shall happily comply with your order, just as soon as we have a laser weapon system. Mm-hmm. Please stop at the Groundbreaker Auxiliary Base.
For some reason, I'm not expecting a warm welcome here.
Hey, you! Over here! Let's chat! Hey, you! You serious? Get back here! So, hey, you trespassing, and I'm armed. Maybe take a second look at your life choices, pal. Used to be, but I'm not with Rizzo's anymore. I'm one of the gardeners now. All of us kept the peace for the corpse once, but we got tired of being used. Hey, I like to get my hands dirty. It's just a name. Old lady we work for, she likes plants. We're here to keep the streets clean. Hallways! You know what I mean. Anyway, Blakeslee's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there. We ain't subversives. We're gainfully employed. This is a private contract. Miss Junlei can't get too mad if we rough up some trespassers. Especially if I was nice enough to warn him first. Huh?
Hi, I'm the girlfriend.
Oh, shit. Fine, fine. You want to check out the lab? Go for it. We won't stop you. But Blakeslee's got her own setup in there, and she doesn't like guests. So, if you get shot, I'm telling Junlei I never saw you. This one's clear, guys.
Nice one, Captain.
Some days, it's like I don't know what to do with myself.
Come on, this is great. We don't have to beat up miscreants for them anymore. We can beat up miscreants for...
Oh, I set you up some expensive points. That's a good point.
This must be a step up from forced factories, huh?
Doesn't look like either of us is sitting pretty in Byzantium, big shot.
Come on.
You gonna shoot or what?
Those Mardettes are too soft. Watch it!
To be kidding me. I thought I made myself clear. Wait, what's with this camera? Hello? Damn it. Look, I get it. Some people need things spelled out for them. I'm sure one of the auto mechanicals can explain.
To think that a mantiquin could grow from something like this. Nature is truly wondrous, is it not?
Observation log. Date. Well, never mind. Hybridization efforts have proven successful, and the nursery's yield is improving steadily. Meanwhile, the psychological benefits of gardening are difficult to assess without a control group. Subjective reflection suggests minor gains in memory retention and contentment.
Wow. That's the last of them!
Observation log. Date. Who knows? Subject number. Well, let's call him Percy. Percy here has discovered the secret to success. He has lifted the veil and found the pattern. He wakes up, he listens for that bell 3 times a day. Food rains from the sky. He eats, he waits. Life is easy. But the second your molt comes in, pal,
Captain, don't do that. It's me. hands, Captain. You hear that humming? Sounds like some kind of generator.
Handled beautifully.
So who the fuck? Oh, wait, hang on, I can't hear a damn thing. Just gonna shut this thing off. Right. Marion Blakeslee, what can I do for you, Miss Home Invasion? Hey, a lot of money went into corralling that pack of trigger-happy washouts. Not exactly the deepest hiring pool out here. Spacer's Choice send you? Took your sweet time. Gorgon? I holed up in a forgotten cargo bay of a rotting colony ship just so I could never hear that name again. But here you are. I really didn't expect today to go this way. Shit. I should have brought another pack of smokes. The Gorgon project gave us Adrena time in the end, but that's just the Bose Spacer's Choice stuck on the whole mess. Corporate demanded a product they could throw onto shelves. That put the squeeze on low at Chem to develop formulas. Samples. But how do you know if the product works?
You run tests, see what happens. That's where human inquiry and auditing came in. I ran HIA, and HIA ran the tests again and again and again. And what happens is a whole lot of wasted time and even more bodies. You've heard the adverts, right? Work day and night, still feel refreshed the next morning. Now, what we tested for was dexterity, efficiency, compliance, the traits of a good employee. Numbers never came out right. I could have pumped gallons of those chemicals into every living soul in this colony. Wouldn't have changed that. What we got was marauders. And I got a hefty corporate paycheck for it, too, up until it all fell apart. That's not the part that made Spacer's Choice give up, anyway. You can still buy Adrena time, after all. Hey, do whatever you like. Life's short and we're all dying anyway. I was a good scientist. I had to have wound up on that asteroid for a reason. I worked so hard. We all get stuck in our own patterns. Magical thinking. That was mine. No excuse. Just cause and effect. That's all any of this is. Anyway, turned out it couldn't go on forever. Someone sabotaged the facility, freed the test subjects. Spacer's Choice wasn't getting much use out of us anymore, so they shuttered the project, kicked Adrena time out the door. And I came here. Indulge a scientist. What do you want out of this investigation of yours? Trying to liven up your memoir? Really? What good can that possibly do? Your crew feel the same? Heck of a world out here for the shy types. What do you get out of headbutting murderous automechanicals for your captain here?
A family. Or something near to it. We don't always get along or nothing, but what family does?
Fair enough. That's all I've got. Here, I still have this pass. Don't much feel like hanging on to it anymore. Made my exit the moment the project started falling apart. Had to steal some credentials. This should get you into the volunteer induction entrance. Come on, I've left it behind me. Yeah, well, you have to go on, don't you? Guilt's a useless emotion. What good is thinking about the past over and over and over again? Please, I don't need... Fine. Fine, here, I remember one of my access codes. Just punch in the keypad equivalent for replication. Should get you into the offices. Maybe get you to my terminal a little sooner. Be careful on Gorgon. The compound got into the air, the water, everything. That asteroid makes monsters. Sure, take it. Just drowning and dining options down here. I'd offer you wine or something, but I don't really want you to stay. Generators mostly, when they work. I've only got so many instruction manuals.
Might not want to walk too close to some of this wiring, ma'am. I don't think any of it's been grounded.
Tryhards, incompetent or unlucky enough to get themselves fired. Probably missed their bludgeoning quotas. They were milling around the back bays. We had some colorful negotiations. I talked them into keeping watch for me. Not hard. They were itching to feel important. Not at first. Your average shrub isn't much use to the corporations. They're vicious organisms in their own way, plants. But at least they're quiet about it.
I read there's plants on Monarch that eat people. Nothing quiet about eating folks, if you ask me.
Not much, to be honest. Spent most of my time inside the facility. Having a tediously protracted nervous breakdown. The biome's been irreversibly tampered with at this point, so I'd say be prepared for anything. Yeah. I'll make sure the auto mechanicals don't bother you on the way out.
Yeah, move along, buddy. Thanks for the pay cut.